start the Monday, October 21st, Fairfield Golf Commission meeting. Call to order. We'll start with the approval of the minutes. Does everybody have a chance to look at those? Any comments? Oh, anybody on? Sorry.
I'm on.
Oh, hey, Liam.
Hey.
Yeah, I had one comment. On page 2, on course monuments, I'd like to add a sentence saying that Anthony agreed that the town and the courts would install the new signs at their expense.
Okay.
Just so we have that memorialized for the record. Not that I have any questions about it, you're going to do it.
Otherwise, motion to approve?
I just see, women's teas will be done in October in my report. I'm not sure what that means. Women's teas will be done in October. So, is that the area you were talking about?
One for work, and yeah.
I think area. Was it area? Okay.
You okay with that, or?
You had also committed to moving, building the T on 8 out in the fall. I don't know what that means. That was months ago, but.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, but, anyway, I saw women's teas will be done in October. I don't remember saying that. Unless it was verification.
Was it verified? I think that's what the gist of the paragraph is.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. All right, motion to approve.
I so move.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. We can move the staff reports. Pro.
Hello, everyone. Hope all well. As we will see once Anthony gets to the numbers, the demand is remaining strong. I have to admit, staff getting a little pounded and at this time of year, get a little frayed around the edges. But we're doing good. We're hanging in there. We got one more shotgun end of the year, which is a nice relief. I would like to say thanks to Pete and his staff for making my job easier. I mean, I don't hear many complaints about golf course conditions at all. Same thing to Yanni and his people. They've been a great partner for me. Made it very easy. Just as the season's getting to an end, I'd like to go on record to say that it seems to be working really well. I think the demand is being created from all three areas, and it's working really well. One side note is I'd like to go on the record to say that all Pro Shop credit needs to be used by the last day of golf. Right. Just as a reminder. Driving range is up and operational. It's busy. We're still working through some growing pains up there, but I'm not hearing a lot of complaints. The only complaint I hear is that when it's full and they walk in that little room, they don't know where to go and they kind of just sit there.
Yeah.
So I'm open to any ideas you might have about being able to not have a concierge up there, but to move the people around, maybe some better signage or some kind of signage, like wait behind the person or something.
Yeah, is there issues with like next up?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's next up?
Yeah, there's no waiting area.
Well, it's a blessing, I think, but that's the only thing I've observed up there. That was a little.
I don't know of any driving range.
No one has that.
Waiting area.
I just think it's.
You just kind of like stalk it out.
I think the Fairfield people are used to being, this table's open for you, Mr. Jones. Yeah. I think it works its way through ever, but that's the only.
Yeah. There's kind of a.
It's a needle. It's kind of
a bottleneck in there. Yeah.
But I guess if there's so much demand, if you have 10 people waiting, who got there first, kind of thing. Is that been an issue yet?
I haven't had any throwdowns yet or anything like that. I would think the more experienced golfer goes and waits behind the person with 3 balls left. Yeah. Right. The kind new golfer will sit in the middle with their basket waiting,
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, I think.
I guess that's something. I mean, June and July are going to be different than October, probably. So we'll have to see how that rolls.
Have anything for
There'll be some furniture going in, but the RTM made it very clear they don't want you guys hanging out.
Oh, it's a driving.
They made it very, very clear.
Okay.
But we are going to put some furniture in, I'll start phasing more in as we go.
I missed that, no hanging out, what?
They don't want people at the golf course. They don't want people up here at all. They don't want them lingering. They don't want them, just camping out and having a good time.
Who's gonna, oh,
Is that an overflow from the controversy about the lights at the driving range?
I think it was part of it.
Okay.
But it was all one conversation throughout that process where they made it very clear that they didn't want us to purchase furniture right from the beginning and put the furniture there because they didn't want people, in their coolers and sitting and hitting balls.
and having a good time.
No, we
Pizza party.
None of that.
No fun here.
My plan is to phase some furniture in. Maybe it's every three days for now. That'll give some people a place to sit, and then just kind of feel it out as it goes.
Yeah, we don't need a lounge.
You're sharing the bed. It's
It makes
not
sense.
hanging out, it's.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Huh.
That's it for me.
Okay.
How's the short range of it coming?
Well, so we thought we had we thought we had an architect lined up and ready to go, but his, proposal came back a little ridiculously high. So we're back in the world of looking for an architect. We got
What was the
one here,
question?
I got another one.
Was this the hitting bit? Did you say?
Short game area.
Short game area, sorry.
We spent some money, Pete had some money spent, if you've been up there, you can see.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah,
spread out
you
pretty
can see
good.
kind of where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I had one, yeah. Was it gross?
Are you anticipating an architect that will be like a golf architect skill set?
That's what ideally,
Yeah.
yeah. That, there's few and far between.
Right.
And,
I mean, at some point, we may want someone to look at our tree challenge.
yeah, well, that would be the thing.
But that's down the road here.
But we still have the money for the building, the facility.
Correct, we're still going forward with it. Yeah, we just need to get an architect that will do the design work and everything within.
At a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we had the right guy.
Do we have any data at all on if we had an increase of like juniors playing this year, how we reduced the rates a little bit earlier in the year? Do we have any, I didn't like.
I can break that out, I don't have it, but I can get that.
I'm just curious, yeah.
I think
Even
we did well,
even
I think it was up.
I think Mike, I don't know if Mike Harrington sent that to the whole group or just us, but you had a good breakout of the tee times by category.
That was 2 years ago.
Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah. That's something Bob got
Oh, no,
from 4 Up last
So
summer.
maybe Bob sent it. This is for.
No, I sent it,
Oh, yeah, you're right, this is for calendar year 23.
23, wait.
But it would be good to compare
But that's
those
a-
numbers.
yeah,
to what
I
we've
can
done
get
so
that.
far.
Yeah, we can get that.
Yeah, I would like to be, I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
I saw an increase,
I was gonna ask you, like, just your observation,
Yeah.
did you see,
I did.
you noticed an increase? Okay.
And Biggs, just numbers, so August was down 300 from prior year, but 6,700 rounds, pretty solid.
Yeah, that's-
September was up 1,000 rounds. I assume that's weather.
yeah,
I think
That's pretty
we had
simple.
rain in
We've
August,
had
right?
less than an inch of rain, I think, 2 months.
yeah, but August was a little.
August
was pretty heavy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You want to
Yeah,
pull into you?
you guys have the numbers in front of you, as Bob just said, we're up 1,000 rounds at Smith for September over last year, and then overall for the fiscal year, we are up about 1,000 rounds, which equates, roughly to about $75,000, it looks like. So we're off to a really strong start. The driving range, you're starting to see the new range and the new pricing captured in here. For this month, September, we were only about 2.5 weeks, I believe, of the new rate, maybe. And you'll see that we're up $12,000 there. So, again, really good start for the fiscal year. And then we're pretty much even down at the par 3. We were up about 900 rounds
for September to September, but overall for the year, we're up about 500 rounds. But again, with the rate increase that we had last year, or this current year that we're in, you see that has carried in to affect the revenue. So we're looking good, off to a really strong start.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also currently working on fiscal 26 budgets. So that's those are due probably by the end of this week to the first selectman for him and his team to address. We did put in for we'll be putting in for additional full-time staff on the maintenance side. I don't know how many that looks like yet, but definitely going in there. And then Peter's just working out what type of equipment and how much that is. But we're looking somewhere probably in the $100,000 to $150,000 range for capital improvements on that.
And I'm sorry, staff. Talk about that a little bit more, Anthony, if you can. Just is that one head, two heads?
Well, it's probably 2 to 3. One being a mechanic.
Great.
So that it would be, I would hope for 2 what I'd call laborers and then a mechanic. So again, that's what I'm requesting. Does not mean that that's what's going to make the budget, but that will be the request. That's the minimum.
I took a look at the numbers differently. I looked at the season 2024. So that's January through
Calendar year.
Through September, calendar year.
Yeah.
And my projection, I took to finish the year out, I assumed October would be the same as September, and November would be half of September. And if you project that out, we're looking at close to a $200,000 favorable year-over-year performance for the 2 courses combined. So that's a really, really strong performance.
That's all I have.
Anybody else got anything for Anthony?
I think the mechanic's a great call.
Yeah. So we went without one, right? We
We've been without one for 3 years, I think.
Is it 3 years now?
3 years.
7 years, too.
Very long.
And we've been, okay. And so you want to add 2 additional folks?
Yeah.
And so what would that be as a
Yeah,
total?
what's the impact of that, man?
What's the total?
I have to
Head count. What would be the head count?
The head count will increase from
From,
3 to 6. So it's doubling the staff.
got it.
We only had you and 2 others right now, so
That's
Right.
I'm literally doubling the staff.
Right.
So guess, how many bucks is that? 125,000 maybe?
Well, it's depending on, it's probably about 100 to 125 per person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
With benefits, once you include benefits
and
and all that.
Yeah.
something goes with it.
Okay.
Insurance.
Per person?
Yeah, I'm guessing, I'm estimating, 80,000 per salary, and then, another 25,000 in benefits. I mean, that's 105. So even if the other guys are at 70, you're talking about 100,000 a head with benefits.
Are they year round?
They are,
Yes.
That full time, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, hold on, I'm just trying to get my arms around this. So, these guys are all hourly, correct?
Yes.
And,
But not me.
no, understood. I was under the impression these guys are getting paid $22 or $23 an hour-ish?
The seasonal guys get paid that.
Okay,
The full-time guys get paid more than that.
okay, all right.
And it's, everything's.
So these are full-time people?
Full-time guys, while they're considered hourly employees,
Yeah.
because they work 40 hours, and anything over that's overtime for them, they're technically salary, even though they're technically hourly employees by their union. But they work 40-hour work weeks.
So these are like Eddies?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
2 more Eddies and a mechanic?
Yep.
Got it.
Do you think this is gonna get approved, or they're gonna give you
I think they might,
pushback?
I think they'll push back for sure, but I think they'll hopefully meet us in the middle.
Does that mean maybe get more?
Not
one and a half? You want to round up?
Is it better to have more seasonal people that are cheaper, is my question, if they're gonna
Well, that's
push
always-
back a little bit?
That's always the argument, is do you just increase headcount and seasonal payroll? The issue with seasonal guys are they're exactly that, and if you're only paying $21, $22 an hour, they're leaving for private landscaping companies. So
Yeah.
by the time you spend all the time training these guys to do the job right, the good ones eventually find a job and leave.
So Peter, you would prefer having full-time, obviously, rather than seasonal, clearly.
Oh, definitely.
Even if it means one or two less, I'm saying, then,
I wouldn't say I want to lose anybody,
yeah.
but, I definitely full-time year-round, because, you do a lot of work in the wintertime, and it's only two guys up there, we got all the equipment to work on, and we have no mechanics, so
Gotcha.
it limits on what we can do in the wintertime.
Cool. Okay, great. All right, to you, Mr. Grace.
Well, the guys I have are doing a great job out there. Right now it's mid-season, doing a lot of bunker work out there. We're trying to, like this 6-hole bunker, it's been the way it is, it's been crown under repair, but, the sprinkler head was half in the bunker and half on the grass, so we had to push it out a little bit. Doing a lot of work, on drainage. The guys, really, the greens are great. I 4 or 5 putted yesterday. And,
Just to try out different areas.
But, for the most part, the course is in good shape. My guys are working hard, and, the leaf season is upon us, and we're working on the leaves. And a bunch of other side jobs that we can get. And, Mr. Cuso, he came, Leonard came, I know you saw that.
Yeah.
He did a great job out
Beautiful.
there with the bench over here by the fire pit. The driving range, my guys have been over trying to get balls out of the walls over on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
We probably went from here to that TV, we probably got about 10,000 balls.
10,000. Really? If we can go another 50 yards, we're gonna get 40,000 balls. We're gonna make it through the winter just fine. How about, we're going in, right?
It's unbelievable.
There are so
They're on
many,
top of themselves.
there are so many in that little field
Yeah,
that
but
we've
if
done,
you look
that
between
pollinator
the-
field, it's ridiculous.
The fence on the right and that stone wall.
It was up
There,
the guys that got my season guys, they were on their hands and knees, they were pulling them out of the
You
wall.
can't, because it's all thicket, so he took the backhoe and took a dig in there, and it was a great solution.
That's annoying.
Now we have plenty of balls, hopefully last
Yeah,
a
a couple
while.
more.
I know, a couple more scoops, but,
I have as many as I can over there, so.
Well, it's funny, the machine now tells you, if you hit it over there, it says, stop doing that. It won't let you use it. It won't let you use
Mike,
it.
go home.
Until you agree, I won't do it again. You do it again, and it shuts off, and it keeps doing it. I'm like, aimless.
That's cool.
I don't know, I guess.
It's swing path, Bob, you know that.
but anyway, that's of course.
Is there anything out there that you're, any, like, major project, I don't know, major, but
Well,
project that you're-
do we put the cart path, the cart path we've always been talking about, so.
no, but I mean, stuff you're working on now, through the next couple months to get done.
A little bit of tree work, but for the most part, just getting these bunkers squared away, and, that's just to keep the course in shape,
Yeah.
keep it cut.
Have we resolved the question of what sand we want to use when we add sand?
Well, I haven't gone that way yet. I don't know what kind of sand you guys want, that's a question for another day.
I thought you guys were gonna recommend to us,
Cool.
or did I misunderstand?
I thought either Biggs or Peter were gonna,
Yeah, we don't know the same.
talk about,
Talk to the longshore people? or what?
sand options, and I don't know.
I'll look into the sand options for the next meeting, but you know.
I know, I thought we talked about Patterson and whoever.
Longshore and Patterson,
Longshore.
and the new.
People say the sand, the wheel is great, I
The wheel we-
don't play there much, but you've been there a bunch, haven't you, Biggs?
Not
The wheel?
this-
No.
I was there Sunday, Saturday, it was
I think it's outside the qualifications of us to recommend the sand. But I think it's important that we can agree on a quality and cost we want going forward, and then use that for all of our assumptions going forward. That would be a smart thing to do.
So, before we leave then, can we just agree to come up with 3 courses maybe that we want to look at, or 4, and we can reach out, find out what sand they use, and You go from
Stick
there?
with the local ones.
I would stick with public courses, only because Longshore, those bunkers are really good, I thought. I hear the wheel's good. And Tashua, maybe, I mean, obviously the private clubs are gonna be a little higher end.
Yeah. Actually, was about to start a complete course bunker renovation.
Well, then they should have pretty good data on.
You know what quote they got for bunkers?
What?
45,000.
Per?
Each?
Per.
Each.
Yeah, but how much is sand?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's including drainage and complete.
They're going with the cement, the bunker.
The cement,
Wow. Well, it's not been approved. They're hoping to go for
How
it.
many bunkers do they have?
A lot.
About the same as us?
Yeah, similar.
50-ish?
Yeah.
That's a big
I don't know if
number.
it'll get approved.
That's
But we can
$2.5
find out
million
what
bucks.
stand.
I mean, there's so many different companies and so many different sands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we agree on 3 or 4 courses that we wanna look at, let's find out what sand they use and then go from there and compare it to what we do.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
And Oak Hills just replaced their bunkers, their sand, I think they did.
What was that?
In Mohawk. I
Then
know
go to them instead of Tashua with the other two.
this was fairly recent, and they put new sand in every bunker, I think.
So who's gonna do that? Great, thank you.
Like I said, you know, all these companies, all these different sand companies will give you samples, but you really gotta see, look at it. It's,
But if you talk to the super and if
yeah,
they used all the same sand and they like it, you know, I mean, well, yeah. And your guys are doing, some really cool stuff, 6, 12, 9, they did a little while ago, and, you know, that's really neat. I guess my only question is, and they're doing great work, and I love what they're doing. I'm trying to understand how they make a decision, or who makes a decision to do 6 or 12 or 9, and,
I do. It's just we looked at 9, it was the base, you could walk up the base.
Yeah.
6, like I said, before the 6, the bunker, the sprinkler head was half of the bunker and half, that whole edges had worn down.
so that was driven by the sprinkler head.
Yeah, that's what.
And making the bunker smaller, I think is brilliant,
Yeah.
quite bluntly. No, for a lot of reasons.
I've always said I get rid of all the bunkers, but that's
Well.
me personally.
And again, the work they're doing on 12 is great. I want to make sure, you or Biggs or someone is sort of opining on what should be done. Not that either of you are golf course architects, none of us are. But there should be some process in place to say, okay, here's our next mission.
There's a lot of issues out there right now. I mean, with the drainage and the tees that we need to do and the bunkers that need to be redone. We're just trying to, for better lack of words, piecemeal everything together. It's, you know, every once in a big major project, we do that, but, in the meantime, people climb up the face of those bunkers and just destroy them. I mean, even 9, we did that and made it look good 2 days later.
I know.
Yeah, that's just tore it down. So, yeah, I mean, we look at it and 2 guys that we just hired, the seasonal guys, are very talented and doing that kind of work. So like I say, have at it. So they did this in a broken English how they were going to do it, and I agreed to it. I said, go for it. So that's how those come about. Tree work is going to be non-ending. Then we got to get to the cart pass, but
Yeah, but cart paths are getting funding.
That's dependent
In my
on
mind,
that, yeah.
so yeah, we have a list of things that we just try to knock them off one by one.
But do me a favor, do us a favor, bring the list of the next 4 or 5 things you think you need to do. Because I'd love to see it before you start, and I think we all should have some buy-in to some extent. It's your job, but
I have a problem with that.
that'd be great.
Where we're going next?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Greens Committee. Anything to report? committee?
I haven't been able to play for the last month, so I've got nothing.
From my perspective, the greens are immaculate. I mean, it's a 3-putt special out there every hole.
They're fast.
They're great.
Definitely here.
It's not fun putting those greens right now. The par 3 tees, and I don't play ladies tees yet, but I hear they're banged up a little bit. But
Ones or twos, threes.
the par 3 tees, and the right side of 6 is great. The grass that you're in there, and I hope that sticks. But somehow or other, we have to get to some of the par 3s, and if we could sod them, it'd be great to shut them down for the year and shut them down through April. I don't know the answer, but some of the par 3s are beat to hell, and we all know. So I don't know the answer, Pete, but I'd love to have a thought on how we make them better, and I just don't.
No, I can tell the eighth tee got a bunch of those trees on the left-hand side. It was open the left side of the field. Yeah, that's a lot of tree work over there. 3T, we're trying to expand it over there to the left-hand side. Because the back of it always crowded, so that was always making it a mess. So we're trying to level that out.
Trees has got to be a problem there too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's on the list.
Yeah, no.
It's always on the list.
And 2T's on the list. We're talking about putting number 1 tee down low, and when we do the cart pass, put like a little turnaround down there. So it's a little less wear and tear up there on 2. Then we're going to 8, like I said, left side. 16. I know the wall looks good, but it's a pain in the butt sometimes to maintain. So we're almost thinking about taking those rocks out and just making it one, not.
More like number 3, huh?
What's that?
More like number 3, where it's terraced.
I mean, I think it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, what's the other 12? That 12 gets pretty beat up, but that's because it's a lot of shade.
And the 9 forward tee is all beat up again, and you rebuilt that twice.
9, oh, 9 12?
Yeah, the forward tee is a disaster.
Duly noted.
Just adding that.
In general,
It's probably one of the worst ones.
Really? Number 9 forward tee.
And it's been expanded and resodded and shut down, and
Stop taking good stuff.
I don't think it.
well, from my perspective, the greens are great. Traps in general are pretty good shape for what we have. And the fairways, you punched them a bunch. So the spring should be great. And they're coming back. I mean, look at 10 fairway. It's a miracle where it was 6 weeks ago. So keep doing what you're doing. Pete and Eddie, you're doing great. And thank you for all your help.
Thank you.
All right, par 3, Mike or Liam?
I played it on Thursday, and I would say it was the best I've seen it in a long time. I thought it was great. Usually the boxes are all beat up, and I thought it was great. I really did.
Good.
Things are getting overgrown, so there's a couple of holes you cannot see the pin on, which is a problem. It's a problem.
Apparently that's a big problem in golf.
Yeah. It's hard enough when you see it, right?
I think we need to re-rate the difficulty.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Re-rate the difficulty.
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of the condition, I thought it was great.
Excellent.
So we get some pictures done.
Liam, anything to add?
I agree. I think it's in great shape.
All right.
Yeah, fifth hole, you can't see it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
7's a little rough.
And 7 too, yeah.
I particularly think 5 can be a little dangerous, because if you got little people, they can hide.
Yeah.
I think he's limited to how many times he can go in there and cut it.
Yeah, I know there's issues with
Do it
that.
for once.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit early. When do we shut that down there? Is it just weather dependent in November?
That's December.
Yeah, it's
Or
normally
December? Yeah, I guess
like
it's
first
December.
week of December normally.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just take care of the weather.
He's on a good streak.
Okay, long-term planning update, do we have anything to update?
No,
You guys are going to the
presentation to the Board of Selectmen on Wednesday,
Yeah,
to the Board of Finance on November 6th, to the RTM on November 18th, and I can't wait.
One of us is excited. One of us is excited. We'll see how you feel after. No, it'll be good. Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday the 30th, right?
Excuse me?
23rd.
23rd.
I'm sorry.
4 o'clock this Wednesday.
4 o'clock, Board of Selectmen.
4 o'clock, Board of Selectmen,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
And I guess it's open to the public, so if
It's open to the public.
anybody wants to.
Is that at Independence Hall? Do they do that there?
Yeah.
It's in, yeah.
And that,
And that
is that you, Anthony, or Mike, or both
I'm
of you?
gonna introduce Mike,
Great,
Yeah, I'm gonna-
let him present it, and I'll just flip through the slides for him.
great.
I'm hoping to make that have a client meeting until like 3, so I think I should be able to get there. What did I say? Since we're being recorded, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say to you, Mike, but.
But the expectation is that if we get favorable response from everybody, we won't know that we've got the money until January or February.
Of every year for the next 10 years.
Well, I think it was
It's a rolling 1 year.
Yeah, the first year is the 500,000.
Yeah, we won't know that.
You're Mike's gonna present the overview of the entire 10-year plan.
Right.
Then every January, February, I go before the three bodies again and present the specific year's worth of plan. So that would be the first year, this January, February will be for the 500,000 for the cart paths. But they would have already heard the 10-year plan, and, oh, yes, this is year one of the plan, and look upon it favorably, yes.
And have we started the scope in more detail, the $500,000 cart path project?
So I did, first thing I did was I reached out to our public works department to find out if we had anybody under bid currently that we can use. They said for this type of project, no. They said, do the scope, tell them what you want, and put this out to bid.
All right, so we got to write this.
That would be the best way to get the best price for this project. So that's something that I think we should be doing now.
We got to write this.
We can throw it out to bid, at least then we'll know, oh, is our 500,000 even in the ballpark come January, February.
Right, okay, so. Are you gonna have the same guy that oversaw the driving range project, be the project manager for that with Peter?
Potentially,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if he's still on, he's a part-timer and he's almost timed out the number of hours he can do here.
Okay,
But we'll see.
okay.
Great. Good luck with that. Look forward to seeing that. Okay, old business. I wanted to circle back on the monuments. I know there was some back and forth earlier about colors and
At least
height
I
and
haven't heard
whatever.
from my email the other day that
That's
I sent to Jerry, copy you.
right.
I assume that's a go, but.
That was the only issue, was resolving the color. We agreed on the swatch that I brought to the
Yep.
meeting last month,
Yep.
and so it's a matter of him making them, and they're just here whenever we get around to it over the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's done.
Okay.
I think it's in Jerry's.
That was the only open issue, I thought was for you and Craig and Bob to resolve the final color, so it blended in.
Dave, did you have a problem with that?
I haven't seen the new color.
Oh.
I saw the original one he brought to the meeting, but I haven't seen one from Jerry.
Well, I wasn't at the meeting, so I only saw what Jerry took a picture of. I'll follow up with Jerry tomorrow, see where it stands.
I think some of our concern was maybe, instead of trying to match it, we wanted a contrasting color, because the match was off.
Yeah.
It just looked.
Yes.
It didn't look right. The fake
blue
granite or something.
The fake granite looked.
Yeah.
So,
He was even thinking about maybe white,
what,
but I don't know what he ended up with.
but
Oh,
something that, I think white could be grimy looking, but something not trying to even match the granite, and I haven't seen it either.
Up to them.
I'll go to Jerry tomorrow and see where it is.
Alright.
I don't know.
okay, good. Thank you. Policy and procedure manual. Sarah and I took a crack at it. I think I forwarded it to you.
I read it.
Okay.
I did look.
Anything?
I kind of feel uncomfortable with that, like, is it my scope kind of, you know?
Well, I just thought it would be,
Yeah.
you know, there's some
I think it's
procedures
great for everyone to take a look.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna share it with everybody, but I just wanted to run it by you in case,
It looked like you
some of
did a
the,
pretty nice
you know,
job.
some of the stuff you do out of
You
your
cleaned it up
shop.
pretty nice, like, you got the antiquated stuff out of there pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, I do think there'll be debate over rain checks.
Yeah, because I keep rethinking that. I'm not settled on what we put in there either.
Yeah.
Across the ways and that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
But other than nice work.
Okay.
Thank you.
What I'll do is, I'll share it with the group for the next meeting, we can take a look at it. And, you guys can bring, you know, whatever questions you have to that.
This is policies and procedures for,
The golf course.
There's a manual out there, it's online,
It's on
and it was last done in 2017, so there's some stuff on there.
And it's for both courses, and part of what we tried to do was be very specific at
Rules here.
rules here and rules there, because they are different.
right?
So it's still one policy, but it'll say at Carl Wickman, at H. Smith, instead of,
And Bob, now that we're getting closer to frost delay season, like when there are frost delays, is it just on the website? There's no way to like send a blast out to people?
No, we can, we email the sheet, we do a good job.
You can, okay, well, okay.
The best job of that is to keep moving the tee times back, but
Yeah.
without losing money. So you gotta stay in front of the 10-day forecast. But we're getting to the point where, I mean, most courses, when they get to November, will start going to, like, we're at 8 o'clock,
Right.
starting this week, right? Yeah, we went to 8 this week, 7:57.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
one of those things, frost delays are,
How long is it gonna be?
yeah, they're very true.
Yeah,
They're very true.
yeah.
But we do try to communicate as best we can. We definitely post it on the website and
Right.
email the T-sheet.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is with that is, you don't know how long it's gonna be.
Yeah.
No.
So you can't say, oh, we're an hour. And then, you know, it becomes, it's a slippery,
Yeah.
it's a slippery one. And rain checks, similar.
yep.
All right, we'll discuss those next time.
Yep.
Are we counting Fridays after September 30th as weekday? That's what the golf commission agreed to about 15 years ago.
I've never had since I've been here. We charge them full load. But that's.
Also, I'll send you the minutes of July of 2015. David, from.
How would I know that?
I don't remember that ever being done.
You need an old fart like me.
Well, why wouldn't they, I mean.
But when they voted to make Fridays weekend days, they made that true from May 1 to September 30th. Prior to May 1 and after September 30th, Fridays are so-called treated as weekdays.
But can the golf commission change that now?
I'm
Because
sorry?
we could change that as the golf commission, right?
Absolutely. It was a motion made by the golf commission. You can do whatever you want to.
To me, if we're still selling out on the Fridays, why
Yeah, it
would we
doesn't
want to
make
give up the
sense.
revenue just to return it to be a weekday price?
That was your argument at the time.
Yeah.
I think at the time, we were in a different,
Yeah, we were looking at
a different economy.
we
We
were
were
also
also going the
around-
opposite direction and.
Right, but
We're not anymore.
Right, right. And if you want, make a motion that Fridays for the whole season.
Can we just do that here?
Sure.
sure,
Sorry?
I'll make a motion that Fridays are considered a weekend for the entire golf season.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I'm not sure we haven't been doing that.
Oh, I've never done that.
So.
No, I sent it to you a couple of years ago.
No, I know, we talked about it a year ago.
Thankfully.
Everybody a refund right now.
Yeah, exactly, right. Ixnay on the, weekend day.
Yeah.
Just to show you how slow retirement is, I read through the last 20 years of golf commission meetings last week, and I found that one, and I thought, holy cow.
Gotta get you a job.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Is there any problem with that, Bobby?
Because that was when they took away.
I've never had anyone say one word about
Yeah.
pricing on Friday. I mean, they might,
I don't think it really-
literally, we could sell 5 times in 10 times.
It's kind of my secret.
I think Octobers are different weather now than they were in
I think it's all-
2015.
the weather's been
Yeah.
killer. Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to bring up, Pete mentioned earlier, the new landscaping job around
Yeah.
Kevin's Afterglow bench. I want to thank Kutso Tree and Lawn Company for doing that. Pictures look great, so thanks to them. All right, new business. 2025 rate schedules. I have some handouts that hopefully can help frame this thing. Do it here. Did you guys see this? Did Bob send?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Here's.
I got it.
You know. I make color.
I'll take a color copy.
So here.
What's the difference?
Well, I did some couple things. I kind of rearranged some things.
Oh.
You can pass these down. So I made it also a little easier to read. So, green denotes the lowest price in that category, and then blue is the highest. So
Green denotes what again?
Green is so Fairchild Wheeler has the lowest 18-hole resident weekly,
Right.
and so on. So you can pretty much say.
Oh, and blue is the highest?
And blue is the highest. So they're all basically one course. Then I also kind of rank or put them in sort of order of geographical closeness, would be our kind of, in my view, our peers or our competitors or, where we draw population probably from.
Right.
Does that. And also, this is really, so in 2019, the Golf Commission agreed with the Building Commission on a progression of rate increases, which we still vote on every year.
Buck around.
Oh, you can keep that one, Mike. I'll just pass those around. On this sheet, the yellow 2024 actual is actually different than, for some, we made some changes to juniors, I remember. Apparently we must have made some changes to seniors at some point. Because the progression was 2024 would be $25 for seniors, and
Yeah,
we're now at 26. We dropped the juniors,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And then the projected rounds at the bottom were what the building, or what was, were the projections that the building committee had used to try and
42,000
project their sort of revenue assumptions.
Which was aggressive at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the actual round, so the FY and CY, I took the fiscal years, I took them out of, Mike, your presentation somewhere.
Right.
And then I just put the calendar years because I was able to find those for 22, 23, and 24. So it's not quite apples to apples, but I mean, really the only thing there is to show that we've kind of blown away total rounds, although non-resident rounds are not keeping up with the projected.
Right.
Which is for sure having an impact on revenue. Although we're still obviously doing well on revenue because we're killing it on resident. So that's kind of where we are.
So we're supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to raise it by $1 next year? Is that pretty much what we're looking at?
Yeah.
But it was only two categories they called for, if I remember correctly.
The adult resident.
I think it was adult resident.
Adult resident. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it was for 18 and 9 or something like that. But
Yeah.
that was the only one I remember seeing.
Yeah, the other ones are.
Yeah, I put down the 9-hole fee rates, but I never saw there was any I don't recall you us having a discussion on 9-hole, changing the
Yeah,
9-hole.
I'm surprised that our 9-hole rates seem to be quite high compared to the wheel and particularly compared to Tashwood. Now, when Tashwood does 9 holes, are they using that executive course or are they using half the 18?
I don't, I took that, the number we took is off for, on the Knoll, not on the West.
Correct.
Because they
I
have a
double-checked
separate
that,
rate
that's
structure
right.
for that other course, don't they?
They do.
I think they're
Okay.
lower, Yeah.
The executive court is lower.
yeah.
Okay.
It's somewhere in between us, the part 3 and the.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot to kind of look at that.
And I was
Yeah.
amazed, when we got the data from 4UP for 2023, we had 14,000 rounds out of our 50,000 that were 9-hole rounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, that many?
That many.
That's,
I was stunned.
We get a lot of 9-hole.
I think it's accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much, that's 3 o'clock.
Field play 9 holes.
I mean, less in the long summer months, you get a couple months where you get to 18 holes.
So Mike, so it's about a quarter of the rounds you're saying are 9?
14,000 out of 28%, out of 50,000. 28% were 9-hole rounds.
And if you lower it, our revenue's gonna get hit, so I wouldn't recommend lowering it.
Well, I don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, making a,
my thought on the 9-hole rates is leave them alone.
My thought is to raise it. My thought is to raise it, because people are gonna pay it anyway. They're all not gonna pay another $1 to play 9 holes. People wanna play 9, wanna play 9.
so I'm gonna pass out, this came from,
That's what I did.
hope I have enough. This came from,
The long-term plan.
yeah, the long-term plan.
Let me pull out a couple things here that might be simple and we could set them aside. Our cart fees are low. And Bob and I had talked about this last year. We missed an opportunity last year. We didn't raise them and we probably should have. But for an 18-hole cart, we're at $18. Tashwood now, and these are now, they could raise them again next year, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Tashwood's 20 and the wheel is 19. Now, if you take our roughly $400,000 a year in cart rental and divide it by $18 a cart rental, you get 24,000 rentals. So if you raise that cart fee from 18 to 20, you just added $48,000 in revenue. And it would seem to me that that's completely within the competitive environment and something that we can readily handle. It hits hard the seniors and the ladies, because they're the predominant users, but we can deal. I've got a way to address that looking at the individual rates. The other thing I was surprised at, I didn't realize our 9-hole cart fee.
Yeah.
The 9-hole cart fee, $14 is high also. Not compared to the wheel.
Mike,
Very much in line.
Let's pass those around.
No, it's right in line with everybody.
Which one?
Right there.
So the 18.
Oh, did I keep?
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree, I think you can go up. But they,
You already have them? Here.
So can we make a motion to deal with the cart fee right now?
Sure.
Get that out of the way?
Sure. Make it.
Motion to move the cart fee from $18 to $20.
Second.
Don't we have to do, should we do the 9-hole cart fee at the same time, or are we gonna do 2 separate motions for it?
Well, Mike, I'll restate the motion, raise the 18-hole cart fee from $18 to $20 and the 9-hole cart fee from $14 to $15.
Well, I have a question for Mike. You said you have a way of, because you're right, the seniors are gonna get hit more. You said you have a way of.
When we get to looking at the rates for adults and residents and seniors
You
and
wanna
all
lower
that,
the-
I've got a recommendation.
You wanna lower the senior
No,
rate?
I wanna raise the adult rate more than the senior rate.
Right.
And that'll be kind of an offset. Okay, so $20 for the 18-hole carts and 15 for the 9-hole?
That's what I propose.
I second that amendment to the motion.
Why is it 20 and not 22, 24? Like, why are we just choosing $2?
It seems like, to me, it's, a 10%, 12% increase seems like a reasonable number for next year, as opposed to going up.
Yeah, we wouldn't go more than that.
You take it to $4, that's, 20%-ish.
I think we should do 20 and 16 though. Why raise the 9-hole cart rate only by $1? Because again, people are gonna pay it or they're not. And
when is our lease up? Like on the carts?
Oh, we're in a brand new lease.
Yeah.
We're already done 3 years.
One more year.
All right.
Yeah.
One more year, right?
That's 5 years.
No, it's
Liam,
five.
why-
We got 2 more. Yes, 3. I know.
What are you thinking about, Liam? Because I think there's more to your question than there's something more behind it.
I'm just, like because you guys are going in front of Board of Selectmen, RTM, all that stuff, asking for 10-year plan stuff, like why aren't we taking the opportunity to sort of just, if we're going to make make a bigger jump to sort of show that we're going to try to raise more revenue to cover the increased maintenance due to the more rounds a year, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I didn't know why $2
As
was
a
just showing.
general matter, Liam, I am 100% with you. I think we need to be very aggressive with this entire activity. But I'm not convinced that cart rental is the place to go get it.
Okay, all right.
And the cart rental does hit a specific population of our golf course, and the seniors and the ladies, and the juniors.
All right. Fair enough. I was just curious where the $2 versus $1 versus $3, et cetera.
Yeah. It's sort of like you hit it hard, and then instead of adding a buck every year, another buck is what we're getting.
What have the cart fees been the last 3 or 4 years, Bob, since you've been here?
The same, right on it.
I'm sorry? Haven't been touched.
The cart fees haven't been touched in 3 years.
Not in 2021, I want to say when we did the new clubhouse, I think
But the last 2 years, they
Has revenue been pretty?
We haven't met the revenue numbers in most years for the cart.
We have not met it.
No, because while it's $18 here, it's actually $36, and I think there was a miscalculation the last time we did it, right? Because if you put 2 people in there and each are paying $18, it's actually $36.
Right.
And I think that was where somehow we miscalculated something and overstated it, and that's why, if you look at the budget numbers, I think this fiscal year that we just ended was like the first time we actually exceeded our budget number, came close to meeting. Normally we're under it.
I gotcha. You would put 18 as the number versus, yeah.
We've been carrying $425,000 as our budget number, but we were at.
We've never made it.
Yeah. $399, $400.
Got it.
Right.
So did you ratchet that down?
I did. For fiscal 25, it's still $425, but
okay.
All it would mean is I would just try to recalculate these numbers with the new rate and see, okay, well, rather than going up, like you're just saying $50,000, maybe it's only 25 on paper.
Okay.
But the actual that comes in, we should be able to meet.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Can I just ask a question on debt burden? Does the 500? What is the 5?
I wouldn't worry about the debt burden.
Okay.
You can ask a question.
Debt burden?
Why do you say that?
That's for the clubhouse.
No, I know that. No, I know that. I'm wondering, yeah.
Always. It gets changed every year.
Okay.
And right now, the driving range isn't in
It's not in
the
the
debt burden at all.
It's not a real number, you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so typically when we calculate the P&L, we'll ask finance what's the number, but it changes every year. I mean, we had a good idea of what it is, but and then finance with tax sale.
Yeah. So our operating income number is
My take on everything is
kind of wishy-washy.
Somewhere in all this crap,
we need to
I've got a
increase-
20-year debt burden.
my take is we need to increase something. We're doing improvements, et cetera, but I just think we should always be really cautious about increasing things too much. The public golf course is an amenity for this town. I just would worry about raising things too much.
And tax commissions have always looked at this comparison that you guys are looking at and saying, we don't want to be below it, we don't want to be the highest, we've always been happy being in the middle. So, again, that's how the tax commissions have looking at, we are in line but at the lowest,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're all between $18 and $20, so.
But to get to the point that Liam is making, if you look at our operating cost budget for 2025, it's $2.2 million for the combined two courses. If you assume a $3,000 escalation into next year's budget, and at the
3%.
Board of Finance capital meeting, they said they were looking at 2.6, not 3%, but my understanding is that 2.6 may go up. But the 3% equals $69,000. So we need to raise at least $69,000 to cover the assumed year-over-year escalation. Point number one.
In operating expenses.
In operating expenses, yes. Point number two, in this table that the debt burden on the golf course has increased significantly because of the new clubhouse. And we went from a profit based on operations and adjusted for debt of $1 million in fiscal year 22-23 to down close to $200,000 last year. So because of the additional debt burden of the clubhouse, and also we haven't raised quite as much as we might have liked, our net profit after debt has gone from $1 million to $200,000, or it's dropped roughly $750,000. So part of what's in my head, in addition to covering any escalations, is beginning to make up for some of that deterioration that we've seen over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, as Anthony said, we have not added any debt yet for the $500,000 for the driving range, and if we get $500,000 for the cart pass, that's another $500,000, and if you run that out at 4.7% roughly, that adds another $75,000 to $100,000 a year in debt burden, but we won't be facing that for 2 more years. Because it takes time to get it approved, and then they fund it, and they bond it, and there's just a lag.
And with that being said, though, you also have projects that'll be coming off the books, right? The last 10-year plan, every year we go, another one falls off, so.
Yeah, somewhere here I've got that table. It goes down.
Does the town expect us to cover the full boat of any borrowings?
I don't think that that's the town's expectation. I do believe, though, we as a collective here have tried to operate the golf courses as their own enterprise to cover the cost. That's been our goal.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is the full intent of the funding bodies. I think when they decided to spend $7.5 million on a clubhouse, it wasn't with the intent of this is for the 4,000 golfers that play golf.
That's what
it was for the entire 60,000 people that live here.
Yes. Right.
And I have the debt burden projections for the next 5 years.
That's my point.
But to respond to you, if I could, I don't think there's an expectation either. I agree with Anthony. However, our pitch that we're going to make to the Board of Selectmen next week is we have always we've always been profitable on an operating basis and profitable after absorbing our own debt burden. And I think we need to sustain that argument.
Well, we could say we're EBITDA positive.
Well, but to your point, we need to raise $69,000. By $1 around for the adult residents.
You got
what's that, 30? That's
45,000 just a cart pay.
And then maybe we can back in what we need to raise the carts by to maybe kind of get the difference of that, so to speak. No?
Yes.
Something like that.
The other thing that hurts us recently is the lack or the declining non-residents. Right? But that's a different argument because you're not losing rounds.
Right.
We're gaining resident rounds. Every resident round we gain, we lose a non-resident.
Sure.
So where the building committee, you had those numbers out before, we're showing a 3-to-1 projection, we're at 5-to-1.
Yeah.
that's what we are. I mean, that's just the reality of where we've been the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that up as well. Right now, those folks only can jump in at 6 days prior, right?
Yep.
Or does everybody else do it 7 days prior?
Correct.
I don't believe Tashua has that.
They're
stipulation. Yeah.
Free for all.
So, right, so
They did
that's,
almost identical rounds, and they were up, I saw their.
Yeah.
Maybe about significantly more money.
Yeah, but every complaint we get is from residents that can't get.
I know, I'm not saying this is the right move.
What that's gonna be like now?
and we raise their fees.
No one's gonna be able to-
Well, I know, but that's I think in my view, that's the only way that issue gets solved.
The only way.
The only way.
But that's not a rate issue.
That's a revenue issue.
That's a revenue issue, but changing any of our rates is not gonna impact that. That's a policy issue. You gotta change the rules from 4 up. It doesn't matter what the rates are.
Right.
Yep.
Wait, what?
You gotta change the rules in 4 up to let non-residents have 7 days instead of 6.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what they pay. That's not a rate issue. That's just a balance between the two.
Correct, but it's a revenue generator.
It is. I'm just suggesting that as part of our rate discussion right now, we set that one aside. Or we're gonna get this whole discussion confused. We can address that tonight, and we should. But
Well, we have a motion on the floor now for the cards at least.
Right.
For 20 and 15, though, it sounds like,
I don't think you can vote on it until you decide what your rates are gonna be also. That's, you have to do them to get together, I think, so you're gonna come up with the revenue you wanna raise. That's my opinion.
well, then why don't we build a model? The first part of the model is, if you wanna rescind your motion, is that we raise the cart rentals to 18 and 16.
No, 20 and 16.
20 and 16. So that's the first thing.
And in 2 years, we get new cards again, right? So we would raise them again when we got the new cards. So this is a 2-year discussion.
So it's really, it's a year-on-year discussion, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
A year.
Yeah.
My thought is the second area to address, which is discrete, is the par 3. And if you raise the par 3 rates by $1, you make another $31,000.
Do we know the history of that par 3?
we haven't touched them in a while.
Around,
Actually, we did.
I hate par 3.
history and for what?
Yeah, I did.
Rounds or?
I was told to raise everything $1, and I raised
Rates?
everything $1.
Yeah.
We raised it $1 last year, and I think we
I know, but we hit it, but we weren't supposed to hit it, that was my error, I was told to raise everything $1, and I thought it meant raise everything $1.
Oh, so it's been $1 each year?
No,
Okay.
we did it once, $1 since I've been sitting here.
Since I've worked there, that was like the 3rd raise, so it seems to be in every
3 years.
every 3 years. But I think it should be raised every year like the raise here.
It is pretty
People
good.
still come and say it's a bargain.
It's still a bargain.
So
It is a
if you
bargain.
raise by $1, you still,
I could live with
Rated
$1.
$1.
I could live with $1.
So,
What's the rate, part 3 right now?
14
it's
on the
14 for
weekdays.
resident, 19 for non-resident, 16 for senior non-residents, $12 for senior residents, and I think junior, it's too many.
yeah.
There's a lot.
That's a whole other conversation.
Raise it $1 across the board.
$1 across the board, and you could raise the park fees there too. I mean, we don't rent that many of them, but it's been $9 forever. And we have 2 newish carts.
Right.
How many carts do we have then?
We have 3, but one of the new ones doesn't work. So we have 3.
I think that should leave that.
Fine.
Yeah.
So we have 2 new ones, 2 newish and 1 old.
And
What do you got now?
so the par 3 by $1, and adult, and Mike, to your point, adult residents at Smith by $1, and not touch anything else?
No.
Oh, no.
That par 3, $1 around
Yeah.
makes $31,000.
No, but at Smith, I'm saying, adult residents
Well,
by $1.
here's my thought at Smith. We've got, seniors who we just hit pretty good with the cart increases. And the seniors did a total of 17,000 rounds in 2023. So my thought was to raise them $1, but raise the adults $2. There's 30,000 adult rounds.
Did we change the senior? We did something with the seniors with the pass or something.
We
didn't
adjusted the season pass.
The season pass, yeah.
And we screwed the seniors, and everybody thought I was a shithead because I brought it up.
I told everybody the same thing.
But if you raise the adult rates by $2, there's 30,000 adult rates, that makes 60,000. And if you raise the seniors by $1, that's another 17,000. So if you add all those up, and then the other thing that's not in here, but we do know, we know we're gonna make more money on the driving range just because of the increase in the cost of buckets and everything, but, so you got 4879.
I increased my budget, I saw that number.
You pushed that up?
I did for next year already. Okay.
So that's $150,000 increase in revenue
On golfing.
on the all golf.
Right.
Right.
So it's 31 grand at the par 3, 48 grand.
On the cards.
No, 48 grand on the
30
adult.
grand by taking $2 each on adult rates, resident and non-resident. And then $1 on the seniors, both residents and non-residents, makes you 17,000.
It's about 100.
Both 9-hole and 18-hole rates?
Yes.
We talked about $1 across the board on the par.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Liam, I thought you meant par 3.
Liam asked a good question. My numbers include 9-hole and 18-hole rounds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if it's 28% 9-hole rates, we should probably make sure we do that too.
So Mike, with your increase of the $2 for adults, $1 for seniors,
Right.
the total increase in revenue you think is a total of 48,000?
It's
On a percentage basis, we're hitting the seniors hard.
60%?
No, we're going 2 and 1.
$2 a head for 30,000 heads, 17,000 for seniors.
Okay.
So that's 77,000.
Yep.
And then if you take 48 for carts and 30 for par 3,
150.
you get 155,000.
And the range is up 100?
The number we currently have,
315, right?
I think 315 is the number that's in 25, and I believe I upped it to 350 or 375 for 26.
What was it this year, ballpark?
Yeah.
This year was
We were 200
So
without the new driving
it's
range?
up 150?
the driving range for
190.
2023, 24 was 189.
Okay, 189.
Yeah, 200,000 numbers.
Anthony, question for you. Do you think these are the kind of revenue increases we need to show in the town?
Well, I don't think they hurt. And I think these are reasonable increases. Again, when I look at it, we're $31 for 18 holes, and
Yeah.
everybody else is 33, 34, 40, 38. I mean,
Yeah, I think.
I don't compare us to Fairchild Wheeler, I'm sorry.
Right.
No, I agree.
That's an outlier.
It's more like Longshore and Tashua.
Yeah, Tashua, yeah. Agreed.
We could be more aggressive than this, but don't forget, we're talking.
Let's have the break.
Yeah.
We're doing okay.
But we're talking $200,000 to $300,000 possible headcount cost increase.
Yep.
In the go forward budget. Not that we're gonna get that approved, but that would eat this up in no time at all.
And same $2 and $1 for non-residents too, I assume, we're talking?
Yeah,
I assume?
yeah.
Yep.
I think so too.
Yeah.
If we're gonna hit our guys, we might as well hit.
Do we have a discussion today about season passes, or is that?
We can.
Yeah, we
can.
Well,
Oh.
you can have that discussion, but I don't know that we're prepared to have that discussion. That's the only thing that worries me, because last time we had that discussion, it was a pretty in-depth discussion, about break-even rounds, and I just don't have those numbers. I'm sure.
Right.
I don't know if I've
Done them before,
But
Yeah.
to find out,
How many rounds it played?
But we
about-
need to think,
yeah.
those are.
We
gonna
got
go
them
by
pretty
$1
balanced
too.
last time.
Okay.
They'll go up by $1 too, that's part of the, right?
$2.
Yeah, $2. Right, even the
Those-
pass round.
those will, but.
No, I'm not saying about.
I'm talking about the pass
But if it costs
itself.
$450 to pass, you need to know maybe it's $475, so.
Yeah, okay. So next meeting,
Might be
we
one of the
should,
things we want to attack next meeting.
Sure.
But if you look at the revenue impact, I mean, we've got a total.
It's 110 golfers.
You got 229 season passes.
Very small.
that's all?
So it's a dollar impact.
I think we leave them alone then.
And for IDs, you got.
That's what I'm thinking.
Says the guy.
If you raise the ID,
Could be
you got.
225. It's
Drop 'em for the
2
seniors,
minutes. Yeah.
But we can run the break evens for our next meeting if you want on the season passes with the new
I think
rate.
it would be worthwhile.
But I think that they're pretty good after the changes we did last year.
Yeah.
So are we all sort of in agreement on these numbers, plus or minus? Without making a motion, so the par three goes up $1, seniors up $1, adults $2, cards $2.
And juniors stay the same?
Juniors.
Yeah,
I think
the juniors stay
I
the
think
same.
the juniors say the same.
I'd like to see them stay the same.
We made a conscious effort to lower them last year, so I guess we
So we said adult resident and non-resident up $1,
No.
$2.
$2.
Senior resident, senior non-resident up $1. And then par three $1. And the nine hole? Do we decide to leave that? Or that,
No.
everything's across the board $1,
Everything.
or whatever,
Or
it's been,
two.
or 2, yeah.
And leave the juniors unchanged.
The cards go $2.
So, 9-hole rate residents is up $2.
Non-residents.
I mean, $1 seniors, same thing.
Yeah,
$1 seniors,
Two
yeah.
and one,
2 and
one
1.
and 9-hole rates as well.
Leave the juniors alone.
and the cards are going up by 2, 18 hole, 2 9.
Any questions?
I don't know, we're really hitting the 9-hole rate, so
Percentage-wise, it's up a lot.
yeah.
I mean, relative.
Well, there's 14,000 9-hole rounds, although I don't have the breakdown between seniors and,
Should we just up $1 across the board for 9 holes?
That's fair.
Everybody just gets $1?
Yep.
yeah, 9 holes up $1.
That's fine, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, we're pretty,
Yeah,
we're pretty high in 9 holes
yeah, we are.
across the board.
Well, we are and we aren't. I mean, some courses don't have 9 holes at all. If you look at Richter, they don't even give you a 9 hole.
No, that's true.
Longshore doesn't on the weekends.
Yeah.
So you are offering something, Oak Hill didn't used to, so this is new that they even do a 9 holes there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to question if it's all the time or just after a certain time of day.
I guess
Because
it's
they
really,
were adamant
yeah.
about it for years.
I guess it's really more than not.
So if we do
Actually,
the
we're not
adult
Not bad. I
resident
was looking at non-res.
18 holes, that's 19,000 times 2. That 60,000 I put in there is only 38,000. And if you leave the 9 holes alone, there's no impact there. Then if you do the senior 18 holes, you've got 13 times a buck is 13. So now we got 40, 89, 31, 38.
That's right. I would agree.
That's 120,000 by leaving the 9 holes alone.
Well, I think you can increase it by $1, the 9 holes.
Well, I just made the assumption of 0.
Yeah,
we
zero.
raise it back up.
So you'd have it back.
If you raise the
$1 across the board.
9 hole, there were 14,000 9-hole rounds. So if you do a 9
14
hole,
grand.
$1, then you made another $14,000. Now you're up to $135,000, Billy.
All right, can we make a motion?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I would propose that we raise the 9-hole rate $1 across the board, par 3 rate $1 across the board, seniors $1 across the board.
Senior
18 holes.
18 hole.
Yeah.
Adults, 18 holes, $2 across the board. Carts, $2 across the board.
Right. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi.
All right.
Now, you want to talk about the resident, non-resident? I'm sorry, Peter, I just knew that. No.
All right, why don't we shut that down until,
I don't think it can be fixed. If you open it up to non-residents, you're gonna have a rebellion among the town.
Yeah.
Non-residents.
I agree, I agree, but it's an issue that we have, and that's the only way to solve it, so we have to at least
Well, wait a minute.
recognize that.
You say it's an issue that we have. We have a couple of people on the Board of Finance who have long memories, who remember a benchmark, and I have never been able to get Craig to explain to me how he came about that. So there's
About
nothing.
the ratio, yeah.
There's nothing sacrosanct that I know of about a 3-to-1 ratio of residents and non-residents.
I would agree. Yeah.
And
Yeah, you're right.
It is what it is. The idea is let's make money to make the course profitable and then continue to invest and improve it and attract the people in the community.
And I don't think it started
Fair
with
enough.
Flora. I think it started with COVID, when they got to book an hour after us, not 6 days. So it isn't,
That could be.
it isn't just that we have a full day. Because if you look at the T sheet, it's full by 5:05.
It could be 5 minutes. It could literally be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I agree. I think the course is making plenty of money.
But, yeah, I agree.
24 hours.
I mean,
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it would change much.
5 years ago, you said we were gonna be making $2.4 million or whatever.
I know.
I think Anthony beat about way above whatever we said we were gonna make.
Yeah. So, okay.
The agenda for tomorrow or for Wednesday just came out, Mike.
All right.
We're number 18.
So you don't have to be there at 4? Is that what you're saying? What time? What's the over/under and when that's gonna go through?
8:30.
We'll be on,
What do you think?
6 o'clock, is it?
So the message is eat before the meeting.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Are we allowed to be there for the
I don't think-
whole thing? We are, aren't we?
You're allowed to.
Okay.
I may be home by that point.
All right, I don't think we didn't have any, emails come in, public comment? Gentleman in the blue?
Yeah, nothing, other than I like your resident, non-resident philosophy, public,
Yeah.
paying, residents, eddies. There was one thing I noticed in the, I don't know, falls under Parks and Rec or not, but maybe they're cracking the ceiling to be looked at in the off-season. They can paint it in the bar, and one that goes straight across. Been there forever, eyesore.
Thank you.
Whole place is scheduled to be painted and cleaned and carpeted and everything this winter, so.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
See how that goes.
Is that town's expense or both?
This half is the county.
All right, anything else? Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. All good? Motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Those not in favor? Liam wants to keep chatting? Thanks, everybody. Good work.